What is going on, guys? Today we're going to be looking at Rakitic, the 86 rated central midfielder from Barcelona. And this year, pretty much like most years, he's not incredibly usable. And that is a shame for him because overall he's got some nice stats. He's a central midfielder with 81 shooting and 74 defending. Pace-wise, it's not there. He is a 4-star, 3-star, 4-star being the weak foot, which the weak foot's nice. Skill moves, again, you've got better. I personally, as a central midfielder, I don't expect the 5-star just because obviously I don't necessarily do a lot of skills with my midfielders, or at least my central midfielders. But at least a 4-star would be quite nice just to abuse them like really good skill moves that everyone loves, and that's always a nice given. But 3-star isn't terrible. I suppose there is some skills that he can still do. 6 foot, right footed with a medium work rates. Pretty much one of the perfect player infos that you can get. Obviously being a centre mid rather than a cam or a CDM, he's the sort of player that kind of stays in the middle. He kind of intercepts, he kind of goes forward. It's a balance between the two. The 74 defending personally isn't good enough to put him as a CDM, and most definitely with the pace and the physical, I don't find him ever going to be a CDM. Whether him being a central midfielder in a team is going to be possible in any sort of team, maybe a really low budget team where physically you cannot afford anyone else, but to be honest, I still think there's so many different options that you can go with this. Personally, he's very much like Cruz. He's got decent passing, dribbling and shooting is okay, pace is awful, physical is at a very average at best, and he's just going to be turned into an SBC player, and it's a shame to see because obviously being for Barcelona, he has the perfect links to Messi, Dembele, Griezmann now, Suarez. There's a lot of good players that he can be linked with, but unfortunately I just think this guy is going to be either used in an untradables team to get the icon swaps, or is going to be used just literally for SBCs. But the one thing I do like about him is he is consistent with going forward and playing a game, but I think the consistency lacks the actual decent amount of skill that he does possess when being on the ball. He's not incredibly comfortable on the ball. His passing is phenomenal. I do like his passing. It's really nice. Especially them long through balls, you do find he is actually quite good at that. And apart from that, that's pretty much where it ends, unfortunately, for him. He really doesn't have no pace on him, even though you can use the passing game against someone with him, and he will make some sort of impact. But going against a God squad or anyone with a slightly decent team, they're going to pass all around him, they're going to destroy him and rip him open, which for me is just not good enough. And personally, I do think he's better than Cruz, or at least very similar in the same aspects. I just think Cruz's real bad issue this year is they have absolutely destroyed his pace, and I think Rakitic just has that little bit to push ahead of him. But personally, I do prefer Modric. Very similar again, but I just think he's that little bit better. Obviously, the 90 rating does help with Modric's stats, but I do think Modric will be the better choice, obviously, over the top of him. He is only 14k, which obviously is pretty decent, but personally, I still think that even 14k is just too much to put into a team unless you have packed him and doing the icon swaps, like I said. And I'm going to give him a value of 5 out of 10 for value for coins. Pretty much bang average. 4 out of 10 for FUT Champs. Personally, I can't imagine playing this card in FUT Champs. And then a 4 out of 10 overall. I was very disappointed with him. He did score a couple of goals when playing for me. He did play in my La Liga squad when I was doing other reviews. And I thought, you know what? We'll see what he's like. We'll give a review about him. We really want to try and push the market and push the channel to as many players as possible. So if you want to know my opinion personally about all of these players, even the 86s, regardless of how good they are or aren't, I like to bring it to you. So let me know down below what you think. I'm going to be trying to do some more of the high rated players, as I've kind of spent a lot of the time on the lower rated players. Plus, I'm going to be bringing more informs into the reviews as well. I'm personally going to backdate some of the informs, so there may be informs from the first, second, third or fourth week coming out very soon. We've got a lot from last week that I've just not posted, personally just not edited all together, so I'm going to get them out. And apart from that, hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure you like, subscribe with the bell button on just to know whenever I do a review, and I'll see you all for the next one. Peace!